Hello, this is Eric Graner with the DaVita Salesforce Center of Innovation, and we're here to talk today a little bit about our initiative to improve training. So what is our challenge? In our twice yearly user survey, we have identified opportunities to improve user training. We administer a survey about every 6 months, and if you look at this graph here on the right, you can see that in the blue and the green area, these are people who agree that they have received the training that they need to use Salesforce, and that only adds up to around 52%. So that leaves us with a lot of room to improve. So what are our areas of improvement? So we want to make training on the user group level more consistent. In the end, the user groups are themselves responsible for the training, but as the Center of Innovation, we want to be aware of what is going on out there so we can support and help the super users improve the training. We want to make our documentation more readily available as users do their work, as that can help with the experience and make things a little bit more easy to do the work. We also, number 3 here, want to facilitate long and complex processes that are hard to train. So even if you have received good training in a long and difficult process, but you only use that process now and then, it can be difficult to perform that work, as we have heard from end users. So what's our solution here? Our solution is to make training more consistent and track new user training and other training in Salesforce. I'll talk about that. For documentation, we want to make Salesforce knowledge available. So that's a function in Salesforce that we have enabled and that I will show you here in a moment. And for long and complex processes, we are implementing WhatFix walkthroughs as another tool that I will demonstrate. So for training tracking here, I'm not going to do a demo of training tracking. It's easier to explain with a graph like this. So we have actually created an object in Salesforce called training, so that when a new user is created, we're using the new user use case here, a notification is sent to the super user that the new user has been created and needs to be trained within a 3-week period. During that period, a survey is sent to the new user that when they have received the training, they go into the survey and attest to the fact that they have received it. They're given an opportunity to give a little feedback, and when you submit that survey, the training record in Salesforce is updated to complete. So what that does is that it allows us at the COI to report on the training that is going on. It's not a full learning management system, but it's kind of a light and very functional way to track the training that's going on. So moving forward for the other tools, let's actually go out and take a look and demonstrate what we are implementing. So when it comes to Salesforce Knowledge, it's a way to put a lot of documentation into Salesforce so that it's available when you're doing your work. So what we're looking at here is for the COI, we have put in our standard operating procedures. So you see all these SOP documents here. So here in the search box, I can click on the Knowledge tab here and then my tabs. And in the search box, I can type in here, creating new fields. And you see that document appears there in my search results. I click on it, and there's my standard operating procedure. And this allows me to, find out what I need to know to do my work correctly. We're also working on a new project with Village Health to make knowledge available inside the service console so that knowledge is actually there as you're working on a patient record, maybe on the phone with a patient, which is even more powerful than when you're looking at here, but not really ready for demo at this time. Moving now to WhatFix. We are now logged in to our production org here as a regional operations director. user that we're using for just testing purposes is not a real user. But I'm logging in here, and as you can see, there's a little tab over here on the right-hand side called Self-Help. So if I click on that, an area opens up here where I can open up these things called walkthroughs. So we have created 3 walkthroughs here for rods, one for MDA, one for consulting, and one for HSA arrangements, even though some of them are broken up because they're so long that we need to actually break them up to like this. But let's say I have logged in to create an MDA arrangement. I click in, I'm given this pop-up box that prompts me to maybe collect a few things. It's a long process, so it's easier to do this if you gather your materials before you start, and then I click Guide Me. And what Fix does then with these orange boxes is it actually takes me to the things that I need to click on and to things I need to do. So this is step 1 of 33 here. It says click on arrangements, and I click on arrangements. And after I do that, I'm prompted on that I need to click on New, and I click on New. Here I have to select the record type of this record that I'm creating, and the record I'm creating is an MDA arrangement. So I click on MDA, and I click on Next. I'm prompted to click Continue. And here I'm taking into the actual record, and you can see here that we're on step 5 out of 33, and it goes on like this. We're not going to go through the whole process here for these demo purposes, but the feedback has been very good for WhatFix, and we're continuing to work to improve adoption as we go. So moving back now to our PowerPoint to wrap this up. In summary, the Salesforce COI team is improving training for end users and for ourselves because we're using this training tracking function for our own training as well as for the new user use case. We do this by tracking the training so we can know when and if there are gaps. So I mean, it's not the purpose to find faults here, but the purpose is to provide opportunities to provide support to both super users and end users, and then to improve the training. And secondly, we have enabled Salesforce Knowledge in the org. We have put our own materials there as the first step, and we have started the project with Village Health, as mentioned. And we're focusing on WhatFix walkthroughs for Eagle in particular as the first use case to make that use case strong and demonstrate the value of walkthrough. The super users are aware that WhatFix exists and is available. So thank you for listening to this. If you want to find out more about any of these initiatives, please let us know. Thank you.